Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's Friday, January the 8th, and no, this is not a new sled. This sled is actually from a fellow YouTuber. Guy's name is Grant L, and he has a YouTube channel that's very outdoors focused, and we connected through one of my other videos, and he actually has a camp literally a 15-minute walk from my house, so that was kind of cool. Anyway, they bought this sled used, and it's a 98 Formula Z 670. Super nice sled, but while they were out on their camp trip, it started throwing coolant out the bottom, and at first we thought it boiled over and overheated or something like that because of a bad thermostat, but what turned out happening is the base gasket basically gave out and all the coolant come flying out the bottom of the cylinders, and then the mag side suffered a four-corner seizure temporarily. They were able to get it started again. So anyway, he got a hold of me, and I said, just bring the thing over. So they drove it right over in the back of a sleigh, dropped it right off my garage. And then the next day I started tearing it down and found some interesting stuff. So basically these old, I shouldn't say old, those are pretty damn good motors, but these 670, or actually all the rotary valve motors, especially the most common 470, 580 and 670, there's also the 521 as well, and the 617, but these are interesting because they have what's called bathtub cylinders and bathtub heads, which means that this cylinder is literally just submerged in a massive, like a reservoir of coolant, versus like a Formula 3 cylinder that has just very small coolant passages around it. And this is sort of like the intermediate step into the newer style of motors that have very like flow optimized coolant pass through the entire engine. These ones are just basically like shove it in a big reservoir, and same with the head. It's just like massive coolant passages. It's probably like, there's probably a good 1.5 liters of coolant just in the motor, which is pretty crazy. Anyway, what happened was this motor had a top end done on it already. And when you put these together, like for instance, these engines with the base cylinder bolts for the base on the exterior, you can basically throw, as long as the threads are clean and whatnot, you put them right in dry, and torque them to spec, and you're good to go. These ones not the same. So the base gasket needs some type of gasket dressing on both sides of it to help stop leaks and to help seal it, as well as these bolts here. They need some special treatment. They have to be extremely clean, so the threads have to be clean. The holes in the base that these go into have to be completely cleaned out and dry. Then you have to put Molykote 111 underneath the flange of the bolt so that it seals once it's torqued down. And then you also need Loctite 242 or the equivalent Permatex or other thread locker on the threads, so that when you put these in and have the cylinders aligned and ready to be tightened down, you stage torque them in a crisscross pattern. So I start at 10 foot-pounds, and then I go to 18 foot-pounds, and then I go to 21 foot-pounds, and then I give it a minute, and then I recheck all of them at 21 foot-pounds, and then leave it. The thread locker's got a set, and the gasket, anaerobic gasket dressing has to also cure, so you can't just go throw coolant in them after. Anyway, so that's what I have to do still. I'm just waiting on the Postal Service for the 2 new pistons and rings and all that, and as well as the top-end gasket kit, because I'm going to put new gaskets all over the place in these. And then it should be running again. So yeah, that's my fun project. And yeah, anyway, I'll put Grant L's YouTube channel in my description, and then you'll be able to check out his stuff. And it's pretty cool. He's got like a lot of outdoorsy, like fishing and some gear reviews, and kind of like, times when he's at his camp doing work and whatnot. So it's pretty neat. So I just wanted to give you all a little update on how the summit is working out. And so far, this sled has just been bloody amazing. I love it. A couple things is compared to the Formula 3, yeah, totally opposite sled in pretty much every respect. One thing is I love how quiet this sled is compared to the Formula 3. Does it sound as good? No, of course not. The F3 sounded amazing. This doesn't sound bad, but it's got that sort of soulless E-Tech drone that I find that it's just such a contrast. But anyway, it runs great. It starts like every time. It's super crisp and really crazy good on fuel. Yeah, so far it looks like this is going to be a good fit. The modifications I've done, so I did cut the track lugs to 1.75 inches, as you can see. This is working out awesome. I've not had to use the scratchers at all yet, and we have what would be considered, low snow conditions. Haven't had to use scratchers at all. And yeah, cooling is good. Track lubrication is good. I haven't had slider issues, so that's great. My wife has gotten into ice fishing with a passion, which means that I've gotten into ice fishing with a passion. No, I'm just kidding. I really actually enjoy it the more I do it. All my friends are into it. I'm like the outlier that isn't into ice fishing or hockey. So, so I kind of turned the sled, gradually it's been turning into a bit of a touring machine. I did put this, I tried to find a 1+1 seat, but like the prices are just outrageous for them. So I bought a Kimpex seat jack, and this bloody thing is awesome. I love it. It's kind of a bit of a bugger to install, to put these mounting knobs in without dropping the suspension. I managed to do it, but it was, my arms were sore for a couple of days from the contorting I had to do. But after I got them in, yeah, this thing is wicked good. My dog's pissed about something. So this thing's wicked good and super easy to take on and off. I don't have to do anything else. Doesn't compromise my storage. It doesn't compromise my link mounts or nothing. So it's really good. My wife loves it. And when she drives the sled, it's actually super comfy to sit in. And I thought it'd make the sled tippy, but I mean, being a Summit, it's tippy anyway, but I haven't had any problems yet. I guess the other thing is I don't know, I'm walking around because you can't see anything anyway, is the clutch kit that I put in. So I put in, I changed my gearing from 19 top 49 bottom to 23 top 49 bottom. So now the top speed without, overdriving the clutches too much is about 145-ish kilometers an hour, which is way faster than I ever need to go. I also put in the iBackshift or Dynamo Joe dual elevation clutch kit for the Summit. And so right now I'm running his Helix and the, I think it's the XP purple secondary spring, which gives you quite a lot of spring force, even right off the hop, because the Helix that Joey has, I don't know what the angles are. And I think, that's by design that he doesn't publish his angles, but it starts out with a stiffer, the Helix is stiff when it starts out, and then it kind of gradually gets shallower. So that initial spring force is there to keep enough bite on that belt in low RPMs. And I'm running with the, I think it's I can't remember what the primary spring is. I think it's a Dalton Red. And with 22.1 grams of pin weight, which is quite a lot of pin weight. I think the stock Summit is like 14. Anyway, I'm running 22.1 grams, and this thing hits 7,900 RPM, just wham every time, never wavers. It just like, it's got crazy pull. So, but the main thing is, for me, is that it's very smooth off engagement. I don't like how it was before, where you touch the throttle and it would just want to pull the skis in the air all the time. I know some people love that, but when I'm trying to crawl around a little bit, that's just a hindrance. So by kind of making the gearing higher and, making the secondary see a lot more load from the track. It certainly calmed the sled down, but the power is there. If I want to grab a handful of throttle, the thing just takes off. So yeah, it's been great. I love this sled. I'm really glad I bought it. I'm really glad I found it. Yeah, a few more things I'm going to be doing to it this year. I'm going to be putting the heavy duty bumper with the hitch on it, because since we are into ice fishing now, we have a sleigh that we pull, and I just need to get a tow bar for it, and then we're going to be pretty much good to go. We're all self-contained. The sleigh can fit in the back, and we can drive to wherever and throw the ramps down and both get on the sled and go fishing. So that works out pretty awesome, and it gives my wife and I something like in common that we can do together in the wintertime. So, you know, like, I don't really like the summer very much because it's too damn hot, but my wife didn't like the winter because it was really cold and she couldn't do stuff with her horses as well as she could in the summer. But ice fishing kind of bridges the gap for us. So that's something we both really enjoy doing, and that incorporates sledding and getting out in the bush. And hey, we've got a great fishery on our doorstep here, so why not take advantage? Anyhow, that's my updates for now, until I can get more trail time and more riding time. Yeah, so that's it for now, and hopefully everybody had a great new year, and hopefully things look up for 2021.